They say curiosity killed the cat, but what they don't tell you is that it's also a door. A door to horrors you can't unsee, whispers you can't unhear, and nightmares that cling to you even when you're awake. I learned this the hard way when I met my dispatch rider outside for a delivery. What started as a simple exchange ended with me trapped in a living nightmare, stalked by shadowy figures and whispers from the void. Let me take you back to where it all began, a night that has forever changed my life in Ravenwood. It was supposed to be a routine evening, one like any other. I had ordered a package, a book, ironically enough, on urban legends and folklore. As an aspiring horror author, these tales were both well-researched and guilty pleasure. The email pinged, "Your package will arrive in 20 minutes. Perfect timing. The sun had just begun its descent, leaving a golden hue that stretched the shadows of trees into eerie, elongated spectres. I decided to wait outside for the delivery. My suburban neighborhood in Ravenwood was quiet, the kind of place where the loudest sound was the occasional barking of a distant dog or the hum of a passing car. As I stood near my mailbox, scrolling aimlessly on my phone, a faint rumble drew my attention. The dispatch rider appeared from around the corner. His bike, if you could call it that, was ancient, sputtering like it might give up any second. The rider himself was peculiar. Dressed in a tattered jacket and a helmet with a cracked visor, he seemed out of place. His uniform bore the logo of the delivery company, but it was faded, almost ghostly. Something about him made my skin prickle, an intangible unease that I couldn't shake off. "Evening," he called out, his voice muffled yet jovial. He waved enthusiastically as he slowed to a stop in front of me. "Hi," I replied, forcing a smile. "That must be my package." He nodded, reaching into the carrier box strapped to the back of his bike. His movements were slow, almost deliberate. As he handed me the package, I noticed his hands. They were gaunt, the veins pronounced, and his nails. They were dark, almost blackened, like he'd been clawing through soot. I quickly dismissed the thought. Maybe he was just tired or overworked. "Thanks," I said, taking the package. It was heavier than I expected. He tilted his head slightly, as if studying me. "Reading something scary tonight?" he asked, his voice carrying an edge that sent a shiver down my spine. I laughed nervously. "Something like that." He didn't respond immediately. Instead, he tapped the side of his helmet, then pointed at the package. "Be careful what you invite in," he said cryptically before revving his bike. The engine coughed like it might die, but it carried him away down the dimly lit street. I stood there for a moment, staring after him, trying to shake off the odd encounter. Inside, I placed the package on the kitchen counter. The house felt unnaturally quiet, the kind of silence that seemed to hum in your ears. I opened the package carefully, peeling back layers of bubble wrap to reveal the book. Its cover was striking, Whispers of the Beyond embossed in golden letters against a dark, stormy background. The moment my fingers brushed the cover, I felt it, a faint pulse, like the beat of a heart. I shook my head. "Just my imagination," I muttered, setting the book aside. I had dinner, caught up on some emails, and eventually settled on the couch with the book. That's when the real strangeness began. The first chapter was engrossing, a detailed account of an urban legend about a midnight rider who delivered cursed items. The eerie parallels to my earlier encounter weren't lost on me, but I chalked it up to coincidence. As I read further, my surroundings seemed to shift. The room felt colder. The shadows cast by the dim lamp grew darker, more defined, as if they were creeping closer. Then came the knock. It was soft at first, almost hesitant, but unmistakable. I froze, my eyes darting to the clock. 11:13 p.m. Who could it be at this hour? Another knock. louder this time. Reluctantly, I set the book down and made my way to the door. Peering through the peephole, my heart nearly stopped. It was the dispatch rider. But something was wrong. His helmet was gone, revealing a face that was distorted. His skin was pale, almost translucent, with sunken eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. His mouth was twisted into a grin too wide for his face. "Forgot something," he said, his voice echoing unnaturally. "I didn't open the door." "What do you want?" I managed to stammer. "The package," he replied. "It wasn't meant for you." My blood ran cold. "You've got the wrong house." He laughed, a hollow, grating sound that seemed to rattle the walls. "No, I've got the right one." The lights flickered. When they steadied, he was gone. I stepped back, my heart pounding, and locked the door. Something told me this was far from over. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak of the house made me jump. At around 3 a.m., I heard it again, the sputtering engine of his bike. Peeking through the curtains, I saw him parked at the end of my driveway, staring up at my window. Only, he wasn't alone. Shadowy figures surrounded him, their forms flickering like static on an old TV. Panic surged through me. I grabbed my phone and dialed the Ravenwood Police Department. The line crackled, then went dead. The power followed suit, plunging the house into darkness. The next few hours were a blur of terror. The figures began to move closer, their shapes shifting and melding into grotesque forms. They whispered, their voices like wind through dead leaves, calling my name. I barricaded myself in the bedroom, clutching the book like it might somehow protect me. At some point, the whispers stopped. The silence was deafening, but I didn't dare move. When dawn finally broke, I found the house in disarray. The front door was wide open, but there was no sign of the rider or his shadowy companions. The book was gone. Days passed, but the fear lingered. I tried to go about my life, but the sense of being watched never left. Then, a package arrived. No return address. Inside was the book, its cover now stained with something dark and sticky. A note slipped out as I opened it. "You can't escape what's been invited." The whispers returned that night, louder than before. This time, they weren't outside. They were inside. I've tried everything. Burning the book, destroying the package. Nothing works. The rider and his entourage are relentless. Every night, they come closer. Every night, the whispers grow louder. If you're reading this, heed my warning. Be careful what you order. And if a dispatch rider with a cracked helmet ever delivers your package, don't open it. Send it back. Because once you invite them in, there's no way out. If this story sent shivers down your spine, make sure to subscribe to Real Haunted Archives. We bring you spine-tingling, eerie, and horrifying stories every single day. Hit that like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale that will keep you up at night.